Welcome, everyone. Thanks for stopping in. Let's get started. I'll use my boa constrictor to turn the chuck with. It's like a filter wrench. I'll use the drill stock nose against the die to keep it square with the rod. A little cutting oil. As I start cutting the thread, I'll advance with the tailstock, the drill chuck, just to keep a little bit of pressure on. Every once in a while, we'll back up, break the chips, clean them out. I'm using a little piece of aluminum I cut for go against the carriage for act as a stop for the T-handle. Once we get far enough into the die, we won't need the drill chuck anymore. The die will stay square. Cutting pretty good, actually. We'll back her up a little, break the chips, clean them out. A little more cutting oil. Getting close to the shoulder. We'll back her up again, clean it out. Make sure we come up nice and tight against the shoulder. There we go. And we'll back it off, clean it out real good. We'll run it in and out a couple times just to complete the thread nicely. Feels pretty good. Clean her out. We'll take it in one more time. Yeah, you bet. That feels good. Get rid of the steady rest. Hey, get back here. Don't need that clamp falling off and hitting the bed. Okay, we'll run the die on. After we chamfer the end, we can use it to chase the thread back. Use the sender to hold the rod steady. Sure we got room for the tool. Yep. I'll chamfer it enough so we don't have a sharp thread at the end. And it'll get rid of all of our burrs and sure, clean the end up nicely there. The nut will start on and off better that way. That looks good. And we'll chase the thread back. Feels really good. Turns nicely there. Yeah, no resistance at the end. That's good. I'll use a little 3M cloth to make sure we don't have any burrs left over in the threads at all. I'll run it both directions. Yeah, it feels nice and smooth. Okay, we'll swap ends. Stick it down into the spindle. We'll leave enough stick out so we can work both ends of the bolt head. I'll get it running close to center. And just check, make sure we're on a tight spot. Looks good. Bring in the gauge and dial her in. Easy to get zero run out on that freshly cut surface. I'll just make sure all the jaws are tight without losing the concentricity. Looks good. Okay, we'll start with facing the end off. Take about 10 thou. That should clean it up good. My saw cuts very square, but we'll just make sure we get it cleaned up good with the 10 thou cut there, and then I'll make a 1 or 2 thou pass just to shine it up real nice. All the cutting tools I'm using are high-speed steel blanks that I grind myself. 45-degree chamfer tool, a facing tool, left and right cutting tools. A left-hand knifing tool. It'll work to face the shoulder as it has a 2-degree clearance angle. Work this side of the bolt head. Dial into 0 up against the rod. Touch off, set my 0. Just bring it in for a little bit of a cut and we'll face off coming out on the x-axis, the plus direction. Clean that edge up and then we'll take a measurement, see how far we gotta go. I'd like to land at 1/2 inch, 500 thou. About 91 thou to go. I'll take 10 thou cut at a time, starting with an interrupted cut there. And we'll face off on the x-axis in the minus direction. I'll take it to 80 thou, and then I'll do a 5 thou cut. And we'll check the measurement again. Be very careful not to go past 0 as we come against the rod. Right. Yeah, 5 thou to go. This time we'll take it down to 0. Then we'll switch our feed direction to the z-axis in the minus direction. And we'll blend in from the shoulder back down the rod a little ways. There we go. Check it again. 1 thou, close enough. Now I'll chamfer both sides just to remove the sharp points and sharp edges. Make it look pretty. I'll take 145 thou off. That's the amount from the points to the flats on the hex bar. There we go. Yeah, that looks good. Yep, feels good. Nice and smooth. Happy with that. Thanks for stopping in. Like and subscribe. See you next time.